I'm going to try to keep it mostly chill. So let's get on the road. Let's get into this. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pocket Show. Today is Sunday, September 3rd, 2017, and this is episode number 36. Holy shit. It's September. What the fuck? And it's Labor Day for us people. Okay, wait a minute. It's Labor Day for more than just the United States, correct? I was talking to Mr. 42, and he said, yeah, we have Labor Day right now, too. Is Labor Day a national holiday? Is it an international holiday? I don't know. All I know is I don't have work tomorrow, and I'm going to take advantage of that. So I'm gonna brew a pot of coffee in about an hour, so I can stay up all fucking day, or all night. All night. I'm stumbling over my words. King Dick Butt, please bless me with my ability to talk. If you guys have any questions to ask during the show, use the ! question command, and I'm going to be answering them at the end of the show. I'm still unsure how I'm going to do this. I don't know if I should include the question and answer in the podcast episode, because people who listen to the podcast might not care about the Q&A. So at the end, I can say, okay, that's it for the show. Now we're going to do the Q&A. I don't know if I want to include the Q&A at the end of the podcast episode and the YouTube and the audio version. But there might be some really good opportunities to answer important questions that you guys might have. So I think what I'm going to do is just keep the Q&A at the end of the show. So the people who know that they just want the Q&A, they can go to the end. And I think what I'm going to start doing is including timestamps in the descriptions. So if people just want to listen to the Q&A, they can just jump right to it. And if they just want to listen to the show, they know, okay, the Q&A is at the end. As soon as the Q&A comes up, I don't give a shit. I'm going to get out of here. Everybody's different. So that's all right. If you guys want to help support the show, if you guys want to ask a question, confess your love, give me any kind of feedback whatsoever, you are more than welcome to review the podcast on iTunes, which a few of you have done, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate the ones that have done it. And or if you just want to shoot me an email, Crocs at Naaackers, that's NAAACKERS.com. Send in whatever the hell you feel like. You can send in a story, you can send in a question about anything. And last but not least, this is actually what I'll probably be starting the show with. I have a feedback form now on Google Forms, and I am looking for any and everyone to possibly take some time out of their day to check out this feedback form and answer some questions. Basically what it is, I want to know what you guys think about the show. It's completely anonymous. The only 2 questions that are required is how did you find the show and how long you've been a viewer for. And then there's questions like, what do you think I do well? What do you think I could work on? What do you like about the show? What do you not like about the show? I'm looking to get feedback from the people that watch me at any rate, whether it's a little bit or a lot of it, because you can't know what you're doing wrong unless you ask. And so I'm really looking for the opinions of people who watch my show, because at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and stay to as true as myself as possible. But at the same time, I want to make sure that what I think is right appeals to the general population. So that form is there all the time. You can do it now. I posted that link in my Discord as well. Anybody that does that, again, it is completely anonymous, and I will cherish your efforts forever. And there was actually one person who submitted a feedback form already, and that's something I want to touch on in a little bit. There's just one point that they brought up. It's something that I've touched on in previous podcasts before. It's also something that I've touched on in my regular show, and I feel like I could explain it a little bit better if I had a little bit more time. And hopefully, if there's other people that feel this way about this certain subject, I can clarify, how I feel about it and my opinion on it. So the first and foremost, what am I drinking? I am drinking a Tall Boy Molson Canadian. These giant cans are 3 for $5. It is 24 ounces of good old Canadian brew. 3 for $5. Holy fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm drinking that right now. And as far as what's been up, this week has been one of the busiest weeks of my life. I'm not going to spend too much time on what's been going on. You guys know enough just from Discord and from the other podcasts. But this week was the last week of summer for the teachers at work. And next week is the first week back where students are back in the building. So it has been absolutely insane. By the way, if you guys want to help support the show and you want to give a retweet out, this. And so it's been crazy. It's been a crazy work week. I'm mentally and physically exhausted. And September is usually the craziest month of the year. So it's going to be some fun. But that's pretty much what's been going on. And I hope you guys are doing all right. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to spend some time with me and your fellow chatters and, you know, in chat. I love you guys. So the first question most people probably asking is, why are you doing a solo podcast? And there's a couple reasons for that. And one of the first things that kind of sparked my idea for this show, I've been watching a guy on YouTube. And actually, the first place that I saw him, believe it or not, was on Facebook. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk. You guys have heard me talk about this dude all the time. He is an entrepreneur. He's actually an immigrant who is an entrepreneur here in the United States. Owns Vayner Media, owns a wine library. He has a very successful YouTube channel, a social media mastermind. And one of the things he said probably about, I would say, I think I saw this video like 6 months ago or something. And the premise behind the video was, don't create, document. And at first when I heard that saying, I didn't know what the fuck that meant. And I was very intrigued, and he had a YouTube video on it. And he's been kind of talking in this manner for a while now, but it wasn't until he posted a video about it that it kind of struck me. And so what he means is, like, there's so many people who are trying to grind and create and exhaust the creative part of their brain on a daily basis. And while that works for a lot of people, you've got so many creators that are daily vlogging or daily blogging or just keeping up to date on Snapchat and Instagram, and they make a living off of it. And for a very large portion of our population, that works. And there are huge audiences for those daily vloggers and bloggers. But that's not, I mean, I watch some daily vloggers, but that's not really the content that I enjoy watching all of the time. And he was just saying how infatuated he was with the idea of people documenting their everyday life. Not about, like, how much money I blew today, or how many, like, super fast import cars we drove today, or how many plane rides we were on today, or like how many bidets shot my asshole today. Just about documenting the process of what they were doing and showing the everyday life of the work, not of the play. And that really struck me as intriguing, because that's what I'm interested in. Because I'm in the content creation business, and I want to know what other people are going through while they're going through it. Because, you know, right now, most of the streams you watch on Twitch, you're watching successful streams. You don't really see people until they get successful, unless you have a group of friends where everybody kind of watches each other, hosts each other. You guys have a community that everybody supports each other. Man, it's going to be hard to take drinks when I have to talk. So fuck. And then you're going to lose your train of thought. You know, the journey. So I basically, like, you know, you don't see people most of the time until they have a successful stream, until they have the followers, until they have the subs, until they have the Twitter following. And my reason for doing this podcast, even though I'm not a super successful streamer, I still want to voice the daily, not the daily things, but the things that I go through as a smaller streamer in oversaturated platform, and share my thought process and my state of mind, hoping that somebody else who is in the same position as me can, you know, can see that somebody else thinks the same way they do. Maybe you have a question in your mind that you're not really sure the answer to. Like, should I do this? Are other people doing this? Is it bad if I do this? And if you share your thought process, other people can, A, make an opinion about you, whether good or bad. B, take your opinion into consideration, maybe change their opinion. Or C, there was no C. I don't know why I said C. That's all right, though. So I've always really enjoyed watching daily vlogs, but I've never wanted to be a daily vlogger because I know of the dangers that come with daily vlogging, like the mental state and having to think about doing something exciting every single day and having to put on a fake persona and a fake mood in order to appease your audience. And that is not something I want a part of whatsoever. And that's all right. Leave the daily vlogging to the daily vloggers and take care of everything else. So I dislike 90% of the people that do daily vlogging. But there are some daily vloggers that just do it so goddamn well, and they do it right. It makes it very enjoyable for a hungry person like me. And so this is pretty much why I wanted to do it, was because I wanted to document my process. I wanted to document my journey as a Twitch streamer. I wanted to be held accountable for what I say. You know, the things that I say on stream, they're recorded, they're live, and they're clipped, and they're uploaded. And I want people to challenge me on things that I say, because I want people to not take what everybody says for granted. And I want people to question and challenge people on their opinions, so you know that you're getting the true opinion of that person. Because if they say one opinion one time, you might get an infatuated answer, or, you know, a convoluted answer. And I want this stuff to be documented so that, you know, a year down the road, when somebody asks me a question about something that I've done in the past, I want to be able to answer truthfully because I answered truthfully, you know, back then. Another part is I am always looking to try new things, and this is a new thing that I've been wanting to try for a very long time. I think that it'll help me get better at carrying on conversations by myself. I feel like if I can sit here and talk without any interaction, that'll help me with the 1v1 podcast. That'll help me with the Crocs podcast, like the free for all. It'll help me talking with people in real life, being able to carry on conversations. So it's a little bit of everything. There's a bunch of little things that I kind of want to get out of this show. And these weren't things that I wanted when I first started Crocs. When I first started Crocs, I wanted an excuse to get all of my friends together on a Sunday night to drink, to talk about video games, and to just have good discussion. And at that time, because I knew how much work doing a podcast was, I didn't want extra work. I just wanted to get together every other week, talk with my friends, record it, upload it, call it a day, and that's it. And now I see myself striving to work on the show. I see myself taking time out of my day to put into the script to make a better show for everybody. And that's not something I thought was going to happen at first. But it happened, and now we're here. Look at that. Ideas evolve, guys. Ideas evolve. So, the journey. I have been on Twitch for a total of 4 years now. I feel like I've learned a good bit. I don't know the secrets to becoming a successful streamer on the platform. I am not a successful streamer. I am very small fish, super tiny mini fish. I am the spawn of a baby fish, like a fish that doesn't even have the ability to reproduce. Yeah, I'm that baby's baby. That's me. But I feel like I have learned so much in streaming on this platform for 4 years, and so much has changed since day one. So I feel like I have a good grasp on what needs to be done in order to somewhat grow an audience. I've been on Twitch for, like I said, a total of 4 years. I streamed for a year on one channel. I took a year break. I actually took a complete break from PC gaming as a whole. I came back, and then I've been streaming ever since. And it took me those 4 years to get 1,000 followers on Twitch. That is a long time for that amount of followers. But that is the reality of streaming on this platform when you're brand new. That's just how it goes. On Twitter, it took me 4 years to get 500 followers on Twitter. Holy shit. When I got to 500, like, oh my God, it has taken me 4 years to get to this number. And obviously I wasn't streaming as much then as I am now. I was... Kitty! Get out of here! Kitty's trying to fuck my shit. So I was streaming 1 day a week for the first, I think, year or two. 1 day a week. It was Monday. No, it was Tuesdays. Tuesday was my day. 8 or 9 p.m. would stream for 4 hours. Actually, I take that back. Back then, I would stream for 2 hours and feel completely exhausted. Like I would keep looking over at the clock and see 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 45 minutes, and would say, holy fuck, I cannot do this. There is no way. How do people do it this long? That's what she said. But now I can, I can play Rocket League 4, 5, 6, 7 hours straight and not blink. But that's just how it goes. So I just want to give that data to people. I actually had a friend who has nothing to do with streaming or content creation, or I'm sorry, streaming or YouTube whatsoever. She was starting to write a blog on a website. And she said, how did you get as many followers as you have? How do I get more? And what do I have to do to get to it? And I said, look, just know if you're going to be writing on a blog, on a website, it's going to be extremely difficult to get started. Like extremely difficult. And it's going to take you a while. Me being on the platform every single day, tweeting every single day, going live 2, 3, 4 times a week, took me 4 years to build those first 500 followers. And she was like, well, fuck that then. But that's how it is. When you got to start from the bottom and you got to build your brand and your community just like everyone else does, that's what it takes. But if you're determined and this is what you're supposed to be doing, it won't be that bad. See, I just wanted to share those analytics because I think those are important. Usually, those first couple hundred are super hard. Once I got to like 3, I think it took me 3 years to get the first 350 followers. And then within the past year, I've gotten the next 150. So once you get up, you start to climb a little bit faster. You get some more exposure. You keep going. It builds. So don't get too discouraged because it can be discouraging. I wanted to give the audience of streamers insight, and a look into the brain of somebody who has been doing this for 4 years. So like I said, the first year or two, it was 1 day a week. Year 3 was 2, sometimes 3 days a week. And now I do it 4 or 5 times a week. And I actually looked at my analytics for the last month. I think I streamed 80 hours in August, which is about 20 hours a week. That's just live. That is just being live. That does not count startup, like being into your computer before you start the stream, being on your computer after you start the stream, editing bot commands, editing overlays, working in OBS, working in Photoshop, creating emotes, creating overlays. The work is nonstop. So I would probably say I put about 30 to 40 hours a week into streaming. I would say closer to 30. I don't know if I could quite say 40 for the full-time job. And I'm going to get into, you know, the breakdown of time a little bit later. But yeah, 80 hours of streaming in August. And that's not even full time. That's part time. That's not even close. That's 10 hours away from full time. So, a couple things I just want to touch on. Somebody that's been doing this for 4 years, still get nervous when I go live. Still start streams with nobody in chat at the beginning. Still have bad streams. Still have really good streams. And one of the biggest things that has definitely caught me off guard as I've been growing is there are times when it's going to seem like your friends are more popular, growing faster than you are, and you are not. Let me tell you, this comes in waves. It goes in waves for absolutely everybody. Years back, there was a time where, you know, we had a bunch of friends that all streamed, and there was a time where I was really trying to find my place on Twitch and what I wanted to do. And a lot of the viewers that had found me first had moved to other streamers, and people that not necessarily found me first, but people that watched me the most started watching other people more. And like other streamers that I was friends with would start streaming together. And so, of course, because they were, you know, these people that are all streaming together are all so awesome, and it's always such a good show, everybody would flock to those channels. And it would just drain your chat. And holy shit, that was depressing. That was really difficult to get by. But like I said, that stuff goes in waves. There's times where people show up to your show every single time, all show. And then there's times where people are just going to other places. Depends on what game you're playing. Depends on who you're playing with. Depends on what time you're playing. Depends on how long you're streaming. There's just so many factors. And there's going to be times where it feels like you are not growing at all. And it seems like everybody within your group is going to other channels and hanging out. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But the silver lining is it's going to make you reevaluate your channel, your show, the content that you are putting out. And it's going to make you make some changes. And sometimes you take a look at yourself and you don't have any changes to make because you think everything is well and dandy. But it forces a reflection period onto you. And it's nothing but good. It feels so fucking terrible at the time. I can't tell you how shitty that feels, because here you are, like, starting to generate some sort of audience, and you feel like you've got a good foundation for your channel, and then people start leaving and people start going elsewhere. People start talking about your friends' channels in your chat, Twitch etiquette, and it hurts a lot. And so that's a real thing, and that's one thing I wanted to bring up. When that happens, embrace the sadness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And yeah, embrace it. Make some changes. Try to figure out what you need to do to hold on to those people. And like I said, it doesn't come in waves necessarily because you're doing something wrong. People just get a different taste for what they want to watch, and they're gonna go wherever they want to view what they want. And every single viewer in your chat, they are not your viewer. They are a viewer. They do not belong to you. You do not have any sort of ownership or authority over them. They are welcome to go wherever the fuck they please. And you got to respect that. And when it's down, it sucks. And then when it's up, it's awesome. So be in the moment, realize when it's up, realize when it's down, make the changes when you can, and you'll come out on top. The next points I wanted to go through were some hard truths. And I'm hoping talking about this will help audience members who may not understand. And I'm also hoping that this is going to help other streamers who haven't gone through this issue, and hoping that I can prep them for when this issue does happen. Streamers that are currently in the middle of this sort of issue and don't know what to do. First and foremost, you can't please everyone. But hold on, before I go into this, speaking of you can't please everyone, I had someone. So at the beginning of the show, I was talking about that feedback form that I now have on Google Forms, and somebody submitted a response to the form, and I fucking thank them for it. So if you hear me talking about you, thank you so much for doing that. And one of the points that they brought up was talking about how they were kind of upset that I didn't think followers were as important now compared to before. And this is in reference to the new Twitch app onboarding feature. For those of you that are unaware, the mobile app for Twitch on iOS and Android has this new feature. If you're a brand new user and you sign up for Twitch on a mobile device, you pick 3 games that interest you: Rocket League, League of Legends, CSGO. Twitch automatically follows channels for you. It randomly picks 5, 10, 15 channels that are currently live in the category that you picked and follows those channels for you. If you want, you can go into the app and unfollow those channels. But those channels have now been followed for you. You had no say in which channels you wanted to follow, and they're there. And this causes 50, 100, 150, 200 follows a stream. Holy shit. That is a lot of follows. That is a lot of sound notifications. That is a lot of pop-ups on screen. That is a lot of spam in chat. That is a lot of saying thank yous. And the person that submitted the feedback form said, you know, I feel like I'm a small streamer and I want to say thank you for every single follower. And I still think that followers are important. And followers are important, but they're not as important as they used to be, unfortunately. Before, when somebody followed your channel, they jumped in, they watched some of your content, and they made a conscious decision to follow your channel, to move their mouse over the follow button, click it, and say, yes, I like this person. I like what they're putting out. I want to know when they're live again, and I want to come back for more. Now, for the most part, that still happens. When you find a channel randomly, you still follow. But all of the channels that, all of the follows that come into channel now, you don't know which ones are genuine. And you don't know which ones are the Twitch onboarding. You also don't know if you're getting follow botted, because now it's easy to hide a follow bot within this Twitch onboarding. So it's not that people who follow your channel are not important. It's because of the amount of follows that come in, it's hard to decipher which ones are genuine follows from people that watched your show and hit the follow button, and ones that the application automatically followed you for. And when you're saying thank you 150, 200 times a stream when you're small fish, it's exhausting, and it takes away from the show. And I actually had people that hit me up that said, thank you for turning off the follower notification. I almost turned your stream off because of how annoying it was. And when you get to that point, you got to make a conscious decision. Do I want to spend a quarter of my show not focusing on the game, not focusing on chat, getting bombarded by these notifications, or do I want to focus on the people that are actively in chat and saying something? Because if I had a choice to, if I was looking, you know, we're talking about a big old cherry pie. All right, think about a nice cherry pie with a crispy top, maybe a soft wet glaze of brown sugar over the top. Mama's cherries pie. Let's pop it. Think about a pie. 100% is the whole pie. If I had the option to donate my attention to 50% of people in chat and 50% saying hi and saying thank you to followers that aren't even in the channel, or taking 90% of my time, focus on the people that are in chat or maybe the people that are lurking, and then taking 10% of my time and devoting it to the people who aren't even in chat, I would take the latter. I would much rather have my attention be on the game, beyond to being on my game as far as being a caster and providing entertainment, and focusing on the people in chat and providing, and for those that I'm not interacting with in chat, I want to make sure that I'm providing a good show for the people that are lurking as well. And that's why I had to make the conscious decision to turn off follow alerts, you know, the sound. And I also had to, you know, Ankbot used to say thank you in chat when a new follower came through, and I had to get rid of that too, because that's 200 chat lines a show of people that aren't in chat. And so when you get to a certain point, you got to say, okay, where's the importance? Where do I devote my attention? Because there's only so much attention that you can give out and divide and spread yourself thin. And so that's it. So it's not that followers don't matter, because they do. And the followers that follow and then say something in chat, it means so much. And I'm so glad to see a new person in chat and say hi. But because there's no way to decipher who consciously made a decision to follow your channel and who had your channel followed for them, you just got to make an executive decision at a point. So for the person that you know, made that suggestion in the feedback form, I hope that explanation helps you. I'm not asking you to change your opinion, because I want you to be able to form your own opinion. And so I hope what I've said helps you come to a complete conclusion. And you know, one day you might come to those crossroads. So I hope that when that time comes, you have enough information to make a good decision. You can't please everyone. So do what you want, as long as you're not crossing the line. I always tell people that I don't give a fuck. I always tell other streamers to not give a fuck. The reality behind that is, don't give a fuck, but give a little bit of fuck. All right. There was a tweet that went out by a very popular streamer named Professor Broman, and he said, play what you want, have fun, never apologize, enjoy your video game your way. I am a firm believer that you should be able to run your show however the fuck you want, and you don't have to answer to anybody, as long as you are not offending people. Now, that statement is so goddamn broad, because if you fart in public, you're offending someone. What I mean by offending is, do what you want as long as you're not discriminating against people. You're not being anti-Semitic. You're not being racist. You're not calling out certain genders. You're not calling out certain, you know, gender associations. Just leave that shit out, okay? Do what you want as long as you're not singling out and attacking other people. And that's pretty much what I try and do. I try and be as inviting as possible and create an environment where anybody can be here and have fun. And you got to draw the line somewhere, okay? You got to not... Oh my God, this beer is making me burpy. You got to give a fuck while not really giving a fuck. Because if you give too many fucks, you're going to curate your stream to a very tiny group of people. And once you do that, you have eliminated the larger piece of the pie. So you just got to remember, stick to your guns, keep your morals in check. Don't do anything your mother would do. She probably wouldn't be streaming, if I'm being completely honest. But if she was streaming, you know, how would you conduct yourself? That's how you want to go. So that's pretty much the motto that I live by, is don't give a fuck, but give it a little bit of fucks. Because you don't want to eliminate your fan base while you're trying to grow, or else you won't have anybody at the end. All right. Second hard truth. Not everyone is fit to play with you on your stream. Now, the people who don't understand this are going to get offended and they're going to get mad, but that's the point. And I'm here to help you understand. Streamers have friends. Streamers like to play with their friends. Not all friends know how to conduct themselves when they're live. And there's so many different ways that this happens. And there's going to be friends who are just going to get straight up butthurt, and there's nothing that you can do about it. But the friends who understand this are the ones that you want to keep around. All right. When you have the wrong person in VoIP on your show, now I'm talking about having them in your channel where they can talk on stream. You're going to have people that talk too much. You're going to have people that are way too loud. You're going to have people that try and take over the show. You're going to have people that are straight up inappropriate. You're going to have people that do not know how to conduct themselves whatsoever. And it's going to cause a little bit of a rift. And there's nothing that you can do about it. You really just got to roll with the punches and just move forward. Some people are going to try and, take over your show. They're going to try and be the center of attention. They're going to try and make joke after joke after joke. If they say something funny and then they see chat react, they're going to keep doing that. And then, they're going to rely on that interaction to be on the show. And it's going to derail you. And having VoIP channels with people who don't know how to conduct themselves, it's going to make you lose control. You're not going to have a control over them. You're not going to have a control over your own stream. You're not going to have control over your chat because somebody else is taking the reins. And if there's too much talking, if you have to mute them, if you're trying to talk about your show and you're going to have to mute the game, or you're going to have to mute them, and then they're trying to talk to you, and because you've muted them, you're missing out on what's happening, and it just causes a huge discombobulation of fuckery that is not good for the show. And you have to keep that in mind when you're thinking about who you want to have on your show and who you want on, depending on what game you're playing and how long you want to have people on your show. People come to your channel because of you. Give me a second. Cat has been screaming outside of my door for the past 10 minutes. It's driving me fucking insane. Because I have open back earphones, I can hear him screaming over and over and over, and it's losing my train of thought. Who knew? Who knew cats were such fuck boys? I had to slam my door to scare him. I'm sorry, cat. So you got to try to find a balance. The one thing that I've found as of late, to kind of patch that, is to have a night dedicated to playing with your friends. It's a night where you and your chat knows that your focus is going to be on the game and hanging out with your friends, as opposed to focusing solely on chat and the game. And if you have a night like that, it's good for you. It's not so great for the people that are watching, because when people come to a show, they want to be there. They want to interact with you. They want to interact with the streamer. They want to chat. But it's a good middle ground. And that's what I would suggest to people, is to have a night that's dedicated to playing with your friends, the friends that know how to be on stream, and to just have some fun. So that's kind of, you're not really gonna find out who can be on stream and who can't until you have them on stream. And people are going to join you, and then they're going to wonder why they can't join you. And you as a streamer can't say, well, sorry, I can't have you on the show because blah, 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 blah. Because they'll just take it as a fuck you, I don't want you on the show. But hopefully everybody here in chat and anybody listening after the fact knows that don't take it personally. When somebody is streaming, they want to run a show a certain way. And if you have too many or a certain person or people with you on stream, it can change the entire dynamic of a show. And that's just the reality of it. So if you have a friend that's a streamer, please respect that they are doing things a certain way for a certain reason. And it's not necessarily because they don't like you. It's just because not everybody is fit to be on stream. And that's the harsh truth of it. And that kind of goes into my next point. Not every streamer is looking for friends to game with. It is extremely common for the audience to ask to play with a streamer. And a lot of streamers agree to this because they're hoping that if they let the person play, they're going to follow the channel, or they're going to sub, or they're going to stick around. And that's dangerous because it makes it okay for people to show up only because they want to join the show. And this is something I've seen on my channel. This is something I've seen on friends' channels. People that show up, ask to play, get denied, and then they leave. And then, you know, I'll end my show and I'll see that person playing the same game with somebody else that's streaming. And it just kind of makes you think, do they like me because they like the show? Or are they in chat and watching because they just want a chance to play on stream? And you'll notice a pattern of people that never ask you to play games off stream, but only ask you to play games on stream. And that makes you think. It makes you think a little bit. So that's something I've seen a lot. And that's something that's always going to be around. And you as a streamer have to make a decision. Do you want to play with streamers? Would you rather allow that for a chance at more follows, or a chance at more concurrent viewers, a chance at subscriptions? You got to make that chance, or you got to make that choice. And for me, my choice is to have certain days to play with your community, but not have anybody in voice channel. And when you start playing with viewers, you run into a couple issues. One, certain games only allow you to play with other people if you have them on your friends list. If you have audience viewers on a friends list, they think that you guys are buddy-buddy. And so they will hit you up all the time. And if you have the majority of your audience hitting you up when you're online or offline looking to play games, it becomes extremely overwhelming. So then you have the issue of having to add people to a friends list in order to play with them, which becomes you only have a certain amount of friends that you can have on a friends list. So that becomes an issue too. So, which is why I pretty much make the decision to only play games that don't involve voice interaction and don't involve having to add people as friends. Because if you have all of your viewers as friends, it's just too much. I keep my friends list to the people that I'm actually friends with. It keeps you from getting spammed with messages when you're not online. And when you don't respond to those messages, it saves the other person from getting butthurt. Why doesn't this person respond to my messages when I want to play? And the harsh truth is, not all streamers are looking for people to play with. A lot of people who are streaming already have friends. They already have a community that they play with. They already have people that they dual stream with. Now, there's nothing wrong with asking to play. or asking to dual stream with somebody. Asking to dual stream with someone is like the #1 way that you can network with other streamers. What I'm saying is, don't get butthurt when you get denied, because there are very substantial reasons, logical reasons, why somebody might say no. So that's kind of the conclusion to that point. So hopefully that sheds a little bit of light on it. Being a streamer, another harsh truth is you are going to lose real life friends. But the ones that you keep, hold on to those, because those are the ones that understand your hobby and your passion. Because you are going to be devoting so much time to this hobby, you're going to have to be making sacrifices. And as long as you are making a conscious decision, or I'm sorry, a conscious effort to balance your life with your friends and your family, you shouldn't have any issues. You're going to have a couple times. You're going to butt heads with your friends. You're going to butt heads with your family. They're going to question why you're not coming out. They're going to question why you spend so much time on the computer. How come you spend so much time talking to people that don't even exist? Do you get any sun? Do you ever go out? Do you have any friends? Are you getting fat? Are you working out? There's going to be some shit in between you and your friends and your family. And there's going to be friends that you had that you gamed with before you started streaming that are going to get mad, and they're going to stop playing with you. And that is an unfortunate that's an unfortunate truth. And that's probably one of the most harsh. You know what I just realized? I don't even need headphones. I don't need headphones, guys. Holy shit. But that's just how it goes. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. And that's something that both you and your friends are going to have to deal with. When you're playing games on stream, it's totally different than just playing games in general. There's a certain flow that has to happen. You can only play with a certain amount of people. You can only play certain games in order to appease your audience. And some people are going to get that and some people aren't. And that's something that you're going to have to discuss with those friends. Some of them are going to get it. Some of them aren't. That's just how it goes. And again, that's going to be something that you are going to have to decide when you get to that point. And that's really all I can say about that specific thing. Is you had a group of people that you used to play with all the time, and you'd play all different sorts of games, and you'd play all sorts of different game modes, and you'd have special things that you do just for fun, and you could get away with a lot of things because you weren't on camera. And things change when you're live and you're on cam and there's a mic recording, and that's just how it is. So that's something you gotta be conscious of when you begin streaming, is things are going to change, and your relationships with your friends are going to change. But the ones who understand what you're doing and appreciate that you have a new passion, like I said, are the ones to keep around. Real friends don't need your attention every single day, every minute of the day. You don't even need to talk. I have best friends, like ride or die, take a bullet for best friends that I talk to once a week, once every 2 weeks, a couple texts here and there, maybe a phone call. But like nothing ever happened. It's like nothing ever changed, because we both realize that we've got passions and hobbies and things that we want to devote time to, and we can't hang out like we were able to when we were 20. I just turned 27. I don't look forward to the same things now than I did when I was 22. I don't live for the weekend anymore. I live for every weekday. And that's that's going to come with different maturity levels that your friends have. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. One of the second to last harsh truths: not everyone is cut out for streaming. And this is something you hear from anybody that's successful at something. It's not for everybody. Not everybody can do it. Not everyone is cut out for it. And when you are in that current hobby doing that certain thing, you're thinking, well, I'm cut out for it. I can do it. It's not that big of a deal. And then time passes and you really figure out that you may or may not be. And I don't know if I'm cut out for this. I don't think I can do this for a full-time career. I know I enjoy the fuck out of it. Does that mean I can do it full-time? Does that mean I can use it to support, myself and, the rest of my life? You just don't know. And I think when you're searching for the answer to that question, it really comes back to why you started streaming. When I started Twitch, I didn't know what Twitch was. I didn't see a big time streamer like Summit or Tim or Lyric and say, oh my God, this guy's playing video games and making millions. I want to do that. I was just playing video games and my brother came to me and said, hey, there's this cool platform where you can broadcast the video games that you're playing and your friends can watch. And I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. And to me, that's all Twitch was. Twitch wasn't this multi-million-dollar company where people were making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year by playing video games. I didn't even know all of that existed. I just knew there was this website where you could post live footage of you playing video games so your friends could watch. And so that's what we did. We just played video games for our friends and then got our friends in on playing those video games. And I don't even know how long after that until I realized that there were some serious people making serious careers out of this website. And now I'm here. And obviously I'm very aware of how people use this website to create a living for themselves, but that's still not why I do it. I do it because I love video games. I love the platform. I love hanging out with people. I love meeting new people. I love hearing about people's stories. I love seeing the process of how people get to where they've got. I just love being around good ass people who make good ass salads. I realize I haven't laughed in a really long time. I don't know if I like this podcast anymore. Guys, I haven't laughed or screamed in like 40 minutes. I just stopped this right now. This is weird. There's a scream for you. And it takes you a while to figure out what you love and what you have a real knack for. Pun intended, bitch. And this is probably like, I don't know, my 5th or 6th hobby that I thought was the end all be all for me. So yes, not everybody is cut out for streaming, but you don't know if you're cut out for it until you try it. So just do it. Next, harsh truth. This is actually the second to last one. And then the next one is the last one. Lower view. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me take a sip of this. Loyal viewers can and will leave. And this kind of ties into you not owning viewers and viewers not being yours and viewers having a choice to go wherever the fuck they want. And feeling like all of your friends are growing and all of your viewers are going elsewhere and you're kind of left stuck with, a low volume chat and just a low amount of viewers. Your loyal people will eventually leave or just watch somebody else. You could host somebody that is a good friend of yours, and somebody who's been watching you for a long time could stop watching you and continue to watch this other person. And the best way to look at that is you should take pride in being a matchmaker. If you have done somebody the favor of finding their favorite broadcaster for them, you should take pride in that. being a broadcaster is like being a matchmaker. Your job is to be the best entertainment for the people that are looking for it, and to help find the best entertainment for the people that are looking for it. And so that's the best way that I can. And I didn't really get that at first. I used to be like, these motherfuckers, they left me for these other streamers and they never come back. Why? What did I do? What did I do that's so wrong? What are they doing that's good that stole my viewers from me? Not like that. Not like that. What you got to realize is everybody has a certain type of show that they want to watch. And if you were fucking dope enough to help somebody find their favorite streamer, you should feel good about yourself, because somebody is going to do the same for you. So you really just have to think about paying it forward. And you got to think about it coming around full circle, because if you do what's right and you stand by your morals, it will come back around. And the good people will stick by your side and you will grow. But you have to stick by what you stand for. And I promise that stuff will come back around. Whether you have 5,000, followers by the time you're done streaming, or 50,000. What matters is the dope homies that you surround yourself with. Nothing else. The final harsh truth of streaming. Selling out, being an asshole, and throwing your friends under the bus will give you a better chance at success. And that is really all there is to say about that. Because it's true. And like I was saying before, it really, you really got to surround yourself with good-hearted, genuine people, because those are the ones that are going to stick by your side. And you don't want the people that are going to be throwing you under the bus. And you're going to have to weed those people out. There's no other way to do that than to actually interact with those people and figure out what they're about. And play with them and interact with them and figure out who is who and who's actually a good person and who is not. There's been people that I have interacted with on Twitch for so long, and then something has happened and I've learned what kind of person they are. And it's shocking, because you think about how often you interact with somebody online and how much you play with them and how often you interact with them and how close you are. And then all of a sudden you just learn about the real person, and it blows your fucking mind how you could not only that you're just like, oh, I can't believe this person, but you also can't believe how blind you were. And it makes you a cynical son of a bitch when it comes to this platform. You start judging everybody, and that comes in waves too. You go like, oh, I'm gonna need to really overanalyze every single person I come into contact with because I don't want to get hurt. Oh, I just need to cool down and just let people be them and just call it a day and just be nice. And then it goes up and you're like, become super cynical again, and it comes back down. It's a learning process, my friends. It's a fucking learning process. So there's a lot of things you can do that a lot of streamers do. Now, these next couple points, if you're a streamer and you do these things, don't feel like you have to change or stop what you're doing because of what I'm saying. These are strictly anecdotal experiences that I feel a certain way. And there's certain things that I don't do or don't do anymore or have never done. And they are things like baiting chatters into your stream for giveaways, doing viewer games, changing the game you're playing because the chat wants it, doing a currency system, doing sound effects, doing sub-only games. This is probably going to strike a chord, strike a nerve with some people. I don't think I will ever do sub games. And it is the same reason why I will never take more time to thank tier 2 subs or tier 3 subs. This could very much change in the future. And if you guys disagree with me on this, I want you to send me an email and tell me why. Because like I've said in previous podcasts, I want people to try and change my mind. I don't want people to ever feel like my opinions cannot be changed. I want you guys to challenge me. I don't think I will ever do sub-only games. I don't think I'll ever do sub-only nights. The reason behind that is I don't want to put people who are fortunate enough to support me with money over lurkers or chatters or anybody who can't donate. Not everybody is in the point in their life where they can just give money to streamers. And that's going to be hard for a lot of people here, because there's going to be people who say, I'm giving you money, I deserve special treatment, I deserve to be able to play with you on stream. And I don't think that's true. And if I lose subs over that, that's completely okay. I would rather say how I feel up front so people know exactly how I am. I want to treat everybody equally, no matter their badge in chat. And there's people who have been with me from day one that have, aren't subs, and I appreciate their support so fucking much, because they have been around and supported me no matter what, and just have been through the goddamn ringer with me. And you have different types of people. You have people who have been there since day one, who have the opportunity to sub and are still there all the time, every time. You have people who are never there, who are subs, who show up to resub, and then they have to go, either because they're another streamer, they have a busy life, blah, blah, blah. Or you have people that have been viewers since day one, can't afford to sub, but are still there, and they're still support. So why is it that people that are fortunate enough to have expendable income should be given chances that the other people can't? So I don't think that's right. And that's why I haven't done sub-only games. That's why I haven't done sub-only nights. The only sub-specific things that I do are sub-only giveaways in Discord, because people are supporting me with money. I want to try and return the favor with money. That's kind of like my way of paying back to the subs. So we do Steam gift card. Oh, we haven't done a Steam gift card giveaway, but I'm planning to do one. Well, I just ruined that surprise. Fuck. We've done game giveaways, and that's kind of like my way of thank you. I want people to support the channel and sub because they want to support what I do, and they like what I do, not because they want special treatment, and not because they want to be able to game with me on stream when other people can't. So if you're here and you're a sub because you want to be able to get in on sub-only stuff, I can tell you that it'll probably never happen. However, community nights do happen. I've done many in the past. That's your chance to get in on the stream and play games with me. But it's not an incentive to sub. And if you feel, like I said, if you feel a different way, shoot me an email, shoot me a tweet, hit me up on Discord, let me know what you think. I want to know. I want to know how you feel, because there's people who do sub-only giveaways on stream, sub-only nights. There's people who do like only people who have donated bits are eligible for this giveaway. And I just don't want that in my channel. I just don't. And it's the same reason why I've never done a currency system except for Snack Chat, because I don't want people to have currency that other people don't have because they're not fortunate enough to have it. And that's going to cost you views. That's going to cost you subs. It's going to cost you concurrent viewers. You're going to get lower numbers because of those things. But that's the precedent I want to set in my channel, and that's why I do things the way that I do. Yeah. So what I've learned, because I've already gotten up to an hour here, I'm gonna kind of blast through these last things of what I've learned, because I told myself that I was gonna keep this under an hour, failed to do that, and so I'm gonna blast through these so I can answer the questions, and then we can call it a night. Some things are out of your control. Let things grow organically. Do not try to force memes, emotes, and games. I think that's pretty much self-explanatory. The Naaackers sub thing absolutely came out of nowhere. I just realized that I was doing it a lot on stream, and somebody made a mention that I did it a lot. Turned into an emote, and that was just it. It can take years to find a game that you can play every day. I've been streaming for 4 years now. It's only in the past year that I found Rocket League and have been able to stream that game on an extremely consistent basis. So if you don't have a game that you can stream all the time, do not worry. It will come around. A discussion for another day is whether to be a one game stream or a variety streamer, and what are the pros and cons of going in either one of those directions. Maybe that's something we can talk about on a further episode. Don't be afraid to cancel the show because you need a break, even if it's going to compromise your routine. One of the biggest importances of streaming is your mental health. And if you're just not feeling up to streaming, cancel the show. Do a makeup stream on another day. Make it up. Don't push yourself. Now, there's times where I felt really shitty and I've questioned whether I've wanted to go live or not, and my mood has been corrected within the first 20 minutes because the support has been phenomenal. There's also times when I felt that same exact way. There's been nobody in chat for the first half hour, and it completely destroyed me. And I went and cried in the bathtub for 45 minutes. Pros and cons, my friends. As don't be a no. When it comes to streaming tech troubleshooting, leave and come back to it. This is a do as I say, not as I do. The other day, I probably spent 2 to 3 hours trying to get this fucking Xbox to work in my dual PC setup. I couldn't get it to work. Couldn't get my audio to come through the way I wanted to. So I walked away. I went and hung out with the lady, went to bed, woke up the next day, sat on my computer for 15 minutes, fixed it immediately. So spend time on trying to fix things. Don't spend too much time. Know when it's time to walk away and take a break because you're not getting anywhere. Because I guarantee you will wake up the next day, or you'll have a fucking dream on how to fix that issue, and you'll wake up and you'll get it done in 10 minutes. So keep that in mind. Depending on your personality, it may not be okay to have people always shit on you. Especially your mods. People will think it's okay and will do it over and over. This is an issue that I had when I started streaming. I really don't have an issue with it anymore. When I first started, I had a couple people who would only say negative things in chat. Would only make fun of me when I did something stupid. Would only talk shit when I missed a play or you know, did something dumb. And even though they're playing around, and even though they throw a kappa at the end of the chat, when you see the same person only spit on you when you've done something dumb, it wears on you. It really does. And I didn't know how to deal with it back then. I know how to deal with it now. If I'm in a good mood, I can deflect it. No problem. But if I'm in a shitty mood and I see somebody making fun of me or insulting me or, you know, just talking shit over and over and over again, it eats away at you like a drunk woodpecker, just like real slow. So as a viewer, be conscious of that. Even though you may feel like you're poking fun, if everything that comes out of your mouth is negative, it will wear on the person because they read it and then they think about it and then they overthink about it, and it just knocks away at your brain, and it's not good. So keep that in mind when you're in chat. Squash things immediately. If there's something that is a no-go in your chat is against your rule. Oh, real quick, going back. If you have mods that are friends that like to shit on you or talk shit about you or just insult you, that will resonate to the rest of the chat. If people seeing mods insult you is okay, they will partake. So keep that in mind. Squash things immediately. If you see something in your chat that is against your rules, immediately address it. Make it a yes or no thing immediately, or else your chat will run away with it. The newest game, I want to thank Weenie for this one. The newest game isn't always... Actually, I want to thank Weenie for the next like 4 or 5 points, because she kind of helped me brainstorm before the show was starting. The newest game isn't always the best one to stream. When a new game comes out, it's common practice to jump on that game, jump on the hype train. Not always the best thing. Depends on how big the game is. Depends on how many of the big name streamers are playing it at the time, and it can be difficult to really grow. So take some time, let the game hype die out, and try and play it after the hype has died down. Protect yourself. I want to put extreme emphasis on this. Streaming is new. It is a new hobby, and it's just now taking off into the mainstream. We don't know the real dangers right now. We don't know the mistakes. Think about when smoking first came out. Like, smoking first was mainstream. All of the advertisement companies advertised the product as if it would not hurt you. And everybody believed for a really long time that smoking was not, wasn't going to have a negative effect on your health. Well, look at us now. So it is not natural to be sitting at your computer for 6, 8, 10, 12, 24 hours in a row. There are dangers that are going to come by with this sort of practice. So take care of yourself. You got to eat right. You got to exercise. You got to take breaks. And that's just the physical health of it, not even the mental aspect of it. You got to be careful. There is, straying away from the physical, aspect of it. We have issues where there are esports organizations not paying people that are playing on their team. And there are these kids that are 17, 18, 19, 20 that are signing contracts that don't understand what these contracts mean, and then they're getting screwed out of money and they don't know why. This is something that's going to start exploding in probably the next year or so. So this is something that you want to keep an eye on. Streaming. It's expensive. Okay. Just keep that in mind. It's expensive, all right. Next. Don't try and mimic other people. There's so many streamers that hit me up on and off stream about my setup, specifically the audio setup, and ask me what I have because they want to, mimic what hardware I have. And I see them spend thousands of dollars on stuff, try streaming for a month or so, and then stop because they can't take it. Stream with what you have. Just fucking do it. Robot talks about this all the time. I really don't feel like I need to reiterate any of those points because he's talked about it so much. I'll leave it at that. Streaming. It's all about networking. It's all about who you know, but don't try and build relationships with people just for business. Try and reach out, go outside of your box, but don't try and force relationships. Let things grow organically. Try and build organic friendships with people who you actually get along with, and not because of the opportunities that you might have after the fact. Because those people who you think that are friends, who got you hookups, might end up fucking you in the ass in the end for a paycheck. You never know. I want you to accept rejection. One thing that I have experienced outside of the podcast and including the podcast is reaching out to people to be on the show, or reaching out to people for help, or reaching out to people for dual streaming and getting rejected or not getting an answer. You have to accept that. People have the reasons for not wanting to dual stream with you. They might have the reasons for not wanting to be on your show. They might not even like podcasting. They might not even like you. They always say never meet your heroes. Well, what I'm going to say is, everybody that you think you might not get along with might not like you. And that's a harsh truth as well. And the last point I wanted to touch on before I get onto the Q&A is gratitude goes a long way. If you're thankful, tell people you're thankful. They'll hear it. And I have to say that that is one of the most important parts of being a streamer, is because your being, your existence on this website does not that doesn't fucking make sense. Your existence is not possible on this platform without viewers, without chatters, without lurkers, without donators, without subs. It doesn't happen. They have to exist in order for you to exist. So be grateful. If you have 3 people in your chat watching your show, you have already beat the other 80 or 90% streaming on this platform. There are hundreds of thousands of people that are streaming with no viewers. If you get those viewers, appreciate them, thank them, make sure they know that they are, that they are appreciated. And that's where I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody in chat. Like I said, been doing this for 4 years, and I would say that I've loved every minute of it, but there's been some very dark and down times. But you get through them. And I really just want to say a heartfelt thank you to everybody that's here right now, that's listening after the fact, that might be watching after the fact. It's insane that I have as many people watching and listening as I do. I always think that I don't have anything important enough to say that people that will respect and listen to and take into consideration. But the people that do support me, you've made me realize that maybe I am kind of smart. Maybe I do have some things to share. And like I said, I get nervous every time I go live. And to know that there are people who enjoy the show and appreciate what I do, I can't thank you enough. I'm really having the time of my life doing what I'm doing right now. And to know that there's people out there who enjoy it too makes me very happy. So I'm going to cut the questions there, cut the points there, and we're going to move on to the question and answer part of the show. So if you haven't submitted a question up to this point, I'm going to have to say no more. And we'll do another one of these in the future, but I'm going to answer the questions that have been asked in chat. Where the fuck are you? Where did I put you? Yoink, yoink, yoink. All right, so the first question comes from Good Bowler. How does it feel to be awesome? I don't know. Because I ain't. Thanks for the compliment, though, Good Bowler. Middle-aged Stream asks, when are you and Tweenie finally going to get a Switch so we can play Mario Kart over the internet? Also, so you can enjoy owning a Switch soon. We need to get a TV first before we get a Switch, and then we'll get a Switch. Next question comes from Scopes. When you say not everyone is cut out for streaming, do you mean streaming as in a full career or just streaming in general? That is a great question. I would say both. I think there are certain people who aren't cut out for streaming because of personality-wise, because they're not an extrovert, because they have, maybe a history of mental health issues that might prevent them from trying to be, successful on the platform. It all depends on the kind of person that you are and the history that you have with yourself. And there's people who don't want to get big. There's people who don't want 10, 20,000 streamer or viewers. There's people who just want to play games with their friends and have their friends watch and hang out with 10, 20, 30 people. And that's totally fine. So to you, I would say it matters. It depends on what streaming is to you. Does making it on streaming mean 10 viewers, or does making it on streaming mean 10,000 viewers? So that's kind of where that comes in. But you definitely have to have a certain mental stability, a certain personality. You have to have a certain work ethic. You have to have certain morals. You know, well, you could have a lack of morals and be a successful streamer. It really comes down to those things, I think. Kelnohe asks, have you ever had friends who weren't stream compatible, and how do they take the feedback? I've had friends that have not been able to be on stream. I cannot say that I have ever told somebody straight up, hey, I don't want you to be on stream because I don't think you're a good fit. So it's really, it's a hard one to say, because I'm sure there's people who have gotten the hint after a certain point, but it's hard. It's hard to say. Because, yeah, I've never told somebody directly, hey, sorry, I can't have you on stream, because you're not good to have on a show. Because you don't want to have that conversation. That's a hard conversation to have with somebody, especially with one of your friends. So I can't say that anybody's ever taken that feedback lightly. I can guarantee there are people who know that I don't have them play on stream that are probably mad at me and are probably angry that they don't get to play on stream and other people do. But I'm sorry, those are just the people who don't understand that not every single person, not every friend you have is okay to have on stream and have in VoIP. And that's just the reality of that situation. Well, yeah, that's where I gotta end it right there. I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm gonna end the podcast right there. Again, for those of you that ask questions at the end of the show, thank you so fucking much for being here, supporting me, and the fact that there was this many people willing to listen to me just talk for this hour and a half kind of makes me want to cry a little bit, but I'm not going to, because I've only had one beer. And if you want Naaackers to cry, he's got to at least have 2 beers. All right. If you enjoyed the show, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. Like I said, hit me up on Discord, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on email, crocs@naackers.com. Like I said, guys, if you disagree with me, fucking tell me. I want to know. I want to know your opinions. Like I said, I want the opportunity to change your opinion, and I want to give you the opportunity to change my opinion. Okay? I'm going to call it there. Again, sincere thank you to everybody that came out to the show tonight. This will be going up as a Twitch highlight. This will be going up on YouTube. It will be going up on a podcast. If you guys have not subscribed, just search Crocs and Hot Pockets on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. You can look for it on iTunes. I'm going to highlight this and export it right now, so it's going to be available super fast. And the next Crocs and Hot Pockets is going to be a team deathmatch episode. That is the next Sunday. So Bad Robot, Salty Sam, Mr. 42, and Speed Demon will all be on this podcast next Sunday. It'll be a full show. I have had to pee for so long, and I was afraid that if I got up and peed, it would ruin the whole thing. But we're okay. We're okay because I peed my pants. And why even pay for a furnace when you can just warm yourself with hot urine? Yeah. All right. Well, I am going to bid you guys farewell with the Crocs and Hot Pockets show Wow. Crocs and Hot Pockets. Crocs and Hot Pockets. Fuck, I can't talk. Crocs and Hot Pockets soundtrack. As far as this upcoming week, Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to be playing Red Dead Redemption. Guys, guess the fuck what? I'm building my new stream PC next weekend. So there's not going to be any streams on Friday or Saturday. I'm going to buy all my new stream PC parts on Friday. No more drop frames, no more lag. We're talking 60 FPS buttery fuckness. I'm so goddamn excited. I'm going to stop talking now and play this song. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. For those of you that have tomorrow off because of Labor Day, fucking enjoy the day off. touch your penis, touch your pets, love your lover, make it worthwhile. All right. Naaackers loves you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll catch you guys on Tuesday. Good night.